First Capital Digger here. Got a new spot. Haven't done a whole lot lately, but I got a new location. Been given permission to do. We'll stay in the lower areas. Hoping they're going to cut that field there soon enough, and then stick around these big trees. Main house today, I believe. Look around it, see what I can find. They got some construction going on. Beautiful home. There's actually a skirmish fought between this property and the next one way over there. All those fields have been planted, can't get into those. So stick around the home site and see what I can find. Wish me luck. First Capital Digger here, taking a walk. Show you around a little bit. Back from that farm. I hit that farm a couple days ago. I haven't put the video out yet. I'll link it into this one. And man, I had high hopes for that farm. It was built in about between 1830 and 1840. I found it on several historical maps, and it shows it as being a carriage stop, an old carriage house. And as far as I know, the owner said nobody's ever metal detected it. She gave me free reign of the place, except for the fields. Can't hunt the fields, they're planted at the moment, but come fall, they're open. And I'll be glad to get out there and hit them up. I spent about 2 hours around that house, and the detector was just going nuts. Ace 350, just couldn't run on relics, couldn't run in zero, just couldn't do it. It was just, the detector was just going nuts. So I shut everything down except for silver, and I could detect with that. I wasn't getting a whole lot. The detector was still on the fritz. I thought, well, it's screwed up, you know. Hadn't really had a chance to use it much, and thought for sure that the detector itself was, something was wrong with it. I got it used. Well, after swinging for about 2 hours, the owner comes out and asks me how I'm doing. And I show her the small piece of tin I found, and you know, I'd stepped out away from the edge of the house along the edge of the road, and I found some canned slaw, and still, I thought, man, there's a lot of iron, just can't cut through it. She says, well, are my dogs bothering you? And I said, no, they're keeping their distance, they're friendly enough. And she says, well, I just wanted to tell you, I have 5 wireless electric dog fences buried around the property. I was like, really? She said, yes. So now I know why my machine wasn't working very well, and I would never ask her to turn them off and put her dogs at risk for running out into the road or across one of her fields and taking off. So hunting up around that house is pretty much out for me. But I'm looking forward to get out in the fields. I did find another property, an archaeologist who was helping her garden, offered to let me go back to her house, which is a couple hundred years old, and showed me around it. The grass was about a foot tall back there, so she said I'm welcome to come out anytime and hunt around it. And she's a big gardener, and she likes the bigger plants around her house, but there's an old barn, found an old foundation on the edge of a hill, and so I'll have to take a day and scout that. But my neighborhood, I've hunted my house here quite a bit, and there's a property here, and well, you'll see what I mean. Hang on. The property I was telling you about, I've been trying to get to. Now, I've hunted the curb strips down through here a little bit. I do live in town. Town's got some historic to it, and first capital of our state of Ohio. And if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. It always changes. But I've always wanted to hunt this house. Doing some research on some of the older maps, and it's always empty. Nobody was ever home. Knocked on the door several times. Neighbor next door there come out and talked to me one time while I was looking around, and nice enough, and tells me the owner's names, and I go through auditor's office and deed office and get the information, do some research online. I'm able to get the owner's name and address and phone number, and This is probably about 18 months ago, and never could get a hold of him. Left several messages, but I didn't want to be the pestering type and just bother and bug and bother and bug, and so I didn't. I just backed off. Well, I'm driving down the road today, going to get my kids from school, and I just happened to look up. I see a woman mowing the grass. So I stop. And I hope and I hope that that's the owners and not a company that hired them. And sure enough, it was the wife of the couple, and she was mowing the front and he was mowing the back, and I introduced myself, told her what my hobby was, explained to her what I had found in my yard. She asked me what my biggest interest was in finding. I'm guessing anything relic. I like finding relics. It's especially it follows the history of our little town. So this is a new site I'm going to be hunting probably over the next couple weeks. Take my time with it, low and slow. I'm gonna hit that curb strip again. I've only used it with haven't used the 350 on it. Through my research on this house, I was able to find out that it was built in 1900. And the neat thing about it is this entire block, let me get you turned around. The neat thing about it is this entire block from that cross street up there all the way down to the river, I'd say it's a mile and a half from where I'm standing. And then from this street to the river, probably 2 miles north of here, was all one farm. And that farm had one house on it. And that one house spanned what is now 3 lots, one of which being my lot that I own. So the history's here. I've dated my lot back to the 1500s with an iron French barn door key. I found a Prince of Wales bridal rosette from the 1600s. I've got one seated Liberty dime, 1841. Some military dating back to the Revolutionary and Civil War, as well as World War I, World War II. That's out of my yard. So the opportunity's here. Take it low and slow, and always, always make sure you get a permission, written permission from the landowner, and have it with you when you dig. I expect the neighbors to call and report somebody digging in the yard, which is fine because they were kind enough to write me a permission note with their name, phone number, and current address that they reside in. So I said my advice to anybody out there that's going to dig, that's what you should do. Thanks. Happy hunting.